Hi. We've all seen the commercials. A young man or woman, their face painted in camouflage colors, intense looks on their face. Then you see them jumping out of a helicopter or plane, crawling through the mud, emerging from underwater, or maybe you've seen them in a hospital helping people after disaster. These are the images of our military commercials. And some of it is like that, but most of it is not. In the United States, serving in the military is a choice you get to make. And I want to talk to you about how the military, once developed specifically to protect our country, can now be used as a career starter for someone not sure which direction to go after school. I think at one point or another, most of us have thought about joining the military. The advertisements and images are all over the place. Before we graduate from high school, the recruiters have probably been to an assembly at your school talking about serving your country and what they could do for you. I was in the Navy for 5 years. I served in a construction battalion known as the Seabees. I originally joined because I was 26. I was not focused on any one thing and not doing anything with my life. And I thought at least I'll get some college money, I'll learn a trade, and those things did happen. And I also became a veteran serving in Iraq. Now, when I joined, this wasn't the plan, but that's what's great about the military is you don't know what kind of experience you're going to get when you join. Today I want to talk about the history of the military, what it's like to serve, the benefits of serving the military mentally and career wise, and maybe when I'm done, you might consider a career in the armed forces. So let's start a little bit about the history of the military. According to the americaslibrary.gov, in its first session, one of the United States Congress' first topic to address was establishing the U.S. military. Now, there already was a colonial army known as the Continental Army that was commanded under George Washington, but this was not official army of the United States. So finally, on September 29th, 1789, the last day of the first session, the U.S. Congress passed an act to establish the United States military, and over time, the United States Navy, Marines, and Air Force would join the ground troops. Now, I served in the Seabees and they were commissioned January 5th, 1942. They were created because they wanted a special organization that would support the Navy and the Marines in remote locations and defend themselves if attacked. So on March 5th, all construction battalion furnished them with their motto, "We build, we fight." The Navy built their battalions with experienced, highly skilled craftsmen. So they have electricians, carpenters, plumbers, equipment operators. Virtually any construction or building trade was welcome in the Seabees. And Seabee units were quickly engaged in construction and combat. So, speaking personally, being in the Seabees is different than any other job in the Navy. For one, we never go on ships. All our travel is done in the air. Your deployment consists of being gone for 5 months and 7 months at home port. So, what's good about this is you're not just stopping in ports for 1 or 2 days and then leaving. You really get to get a feel for these countries you get to visit, which is what I liked about my experience. Now, if this is sounding like something you might be interested in, you also receive combat training in the Seabees. So you're always building something and then you're receiving combat training, which involves learning different combat techniques, shooting M16 or 60. It all depends on what you want to do and how committed you are. So let's talk about some of the benefits mentally and career wise. In today's military, there are so many different opportunities. Now, now that is for short timers, which is someone who only enlists for one tour, or long timers who make the military their career. I was a short timer. I did what I joined to do. I learned a skill. I got my college money and I went to war for my country, which wasn't in the plan, but that's, what happened. And I'm proud to say I was able to be there for the United States. And in return, I have reaped some benefits. The first thing you can gain from the military is better mental toughness. This is one of the biggest things I'm grateful for the military. I know now when your body feels like you can't take one more step or you're freezing and soaking wet and you've been sitting in a hole for hours, and each hour you tell yourself you can't do this anymore. And then 4 more hours pass and you're still in the hole, freezing and cold. And when it's finally over, you go, I can't believe I did that and I didn't lose my mind. And that is what the military.com calls mental toughness. But let's talk about the softer side, what you can gain from the military. There are a lot of benefits financially. According to myfuture.com, joining the military isn't like any other option because as there are benefits you won't find anywhere else. An important step is understanding the tangible and intangible benefits of joining the military. So, one is a guaranteed paycheck and cash bonuses. You get education benefits, advanced and specialty training, 30 days annual paid vacation, travel, option for full time or part time service, tax free room, board, and allowances, health and dental care, use of commissary and military exchanges, special home loans and discounts, and an unparalleled sense of patriotism, duty, honor, and selfless service. And their highly sought after skills, leadership, and training experience. And according to USA Today, the number of people enlisted in the military has significantly dropped. Some people believe if you live in a country, you should have to enlist in the service. This is called compulsory service, and the national interest states it is necessary for Americans to forge both common bonds and better ability to defend themselves. Now, this is debatable, but it can serve as a compassionate experience if you look at it that way. There's no individuality when working in the military. When a job needs to be done or someone needs help, there's no question asked. And from my experience, I feel it can only strengthen a person. Finally, this is a very touchy subject for people. A lot of people don't believe in the military and harbor resentment for all the lives lost. But you have to think of all the military has done for the country and what it continues to do and the benefits of having a military when in crisis. So if you're not sure what your next step should be or you're looking for a new experience, maybe consider a proud career serving in your military.